Oh no. Hello, everybody. My computer's going crazy, but that's okay. If you landed here, you've landed on Let's Talk News. And I'm your host, Leticia Remauro. And boy, oh boy, we've got lots to talk about tonight, but I'm not prepared as usual. Why? Because my computer crashed and I had to start all over. And so I'm going to have to open up some programs, but that's okay because everybody's here. Let's say hello. How are you, Kevin, from the other side of the world, but the same side of the issues? Good graphic for the thumbnail. Yeah, I feel like it is. We're going to talk about some really kind of crazy, freaky things if I could get my shit together. Hello, Francine. How are you? Um, I wanted to, we're going to talk a little bit about some mass shootings that have gone on, not just in America this weekend. There were many, but also around the world. And one in Ukraine that was so far linked to terrorism. The ones in Virginia and Louisiana. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let me see. Be patient with me, okay? Be patient with me. And let's see if I could get everything back up and running the way it's supposed to be running so that I could actually speak to you with some kind of smart things. Okay. Oh wait, that's what's going on. Everything in my places is going nuts. All right, that should be good. So we had one in Iowa, one in Virginia, one in Louisiana. Where was the other one? Let's see. Hold on. One in Sacramento, California. Actually, two in Virginia. So I'll just go through them quickly. So domestic disturbance in Shreveport, Louisiana. A former military veteran shot 8 children, ages 1 through 14. They were all killed, and 2 adult women. They are saying that the shooter had they're saying that he posted on Facebook disturbing stuff. Then we have in Temperanceville, Virginia, 1 killed, 5 injured at a bar and a grill. Then in Iowa City, Iowa, near the University of Iowa campus, 5 injured, no deaths reported, thank the Lord. Danville, Virginia, 1 killed, 4 injured. Sacramento, California, 4 people shot near a community park. Details limited. So this all happened. And then we have Kiev, Ukraine, on the 18th. 6 to 7 people killed, 14 injured. The shooter, Dmytro Valeshchenokov, 58-year-old Moscow-born man, was killed by police. So we have been talking about terrorism and the fact that all of these people who have migrated around the world were possibly not just there because they were escaping threats or they were being persecuted by their government, but instead maybe something else was going on. And I think that we've got this something else going on happening right now, and that concerns me greatly. And I'm hoping, I am sure that you all have heard about the scientists that have gone missing. It was 10 and now it's 11. Some were murdered, others were just missing, and they were all working on very hyper sensitive projects for the government. And one of the scientists actually said that she was getting threatening messages on both Facebook and other ways, and then she committed suicide. And her father said he didn't think that there was any wrongdoing. But I think that the suicide stuff, we've seen it before. I'm still believing that Virginia Giuffre, the Epstein victim, who said Prince Andrew did bad things to her, um, she had everything to live for, and suddenly she decides to, take her own life. Interesting. Don't necessarily believe that, and all these scientists. Well, what's going on with this? I mean, either the drugs that we're taking are not good, or something nefarious is going on. And there's investigations that have gone on. And forgive me, I'm not sure what was released today. I missed it. I was doing other things, but maybe there was something released. I'll have a look. Let's see. Jeff said, I left work on Friday and took a trip to Pittsburgh, got back this evening at a friend's house. Oh, good. Angela Ricca says, Iowa. Yes, well, there was Iowa and Louisiana. I just read you all of them. 8 children. Yep. Hi, Professor. Good to have you. Hello, Andrew Dorman. Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, is where Jeff is. The projection of power by active terror, the professor says. I'm sure you've all seen these as they're going up the screen, but I'm going to read them. One at the Target on Richmond Avenue. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that. I saw a video I didn't watch. Stated 8 children were shot. It is sickening, and it's terrible. BJ, well, the strait is closed and no deal with Iran, so the stock futures are down, heading for a down day tomorrow. Yeah, well, I think that we're going to, at the end of the day, I wonder what's going to be, because Trump is going to have to make a decision. He's going to have to make a decision as far as Hormuz is concerned, or Iran is concerned, to wipe them off the face of the earth or not, because he can't leave things in the condition that they are right now. He couldn't leave things in the condition they were before, because every president before him, starting with Bush, the son, said that we had an Iran problem, and we do have an Iran problem. So Trump is going to have to finish it off, and I believe he's just the guy to do it. So, all right, so let's just consider this situation with all these shootings. Hello, Colleen Mahoney. I do believe that we have something nefarious going on, and I do believe that we've watched Trump and the Pope get into it. We've watched religious leaders criticizing other religions and other religious leaders. We've watched the people fundamental, right? I mean, the fundamentalist Muslim is who is running Iran, creating the chaos with the Jews. We see that throughout the globe, this fight about which religion is correct, whether it's Catholic or if it's Jewish or if it's Muslim. And we've been talking about this for the very longest time, that fundamentalist anything doesn't work. The fact that religion is playing so prevalently into what's going on right now in Iran and just across the universe has me thinking that we might be in I don't want to say supernatural, because that's not correct, a real change in the world, a spiritual change in the world. And before you all think that I'm crazy, because you might all know I'm not a religious person. I was raised Catholic, very strict Catholic. Went to church every day with my grandmother, so I'm pretty secure in what I know about Catholicism, and I've done a lot of research throughout history about religions, how they came to be and who they are, and what they predict in the world. Having said that, now, I'm a spiritual person, but I don't follow religion because, in my opinion, and I know some of you, my friends, will be upset about it, I don't believe there is a chosen religion. I believe religion is politics. I think that there is God. And I believe that there is the Son of God. And I believe that there are people who all can act as parts of God. And I think religion was just created to keep people in order, just like society. That's my belief. Doesn't have to be your belief, but if you're one of those people that think that I'm going to hell because I don't say there's only one savior, then you might as well click off now because that's not going to change. So having said all that, there was brouhaha about this, and I'll get to your comments in a minute. Brouhaha about this picture. This picture that was reposted on Trump's Truth Social that came out, that was created months ago by Nick Adams in Australia. You're part of the world, Kevin. And he posted it to social media. And the news had a field day with this. Now, I want you to really take a look at this image because this sparked some conversation between Trump and the Pope and others, that this was problematic. So we have the American flag, we have fighter jets in the back, we have Statue of Liberty, we have I think that's the Supreme Court. I'm not pretty sure. I'm not positive. We have somebody who's apparently ill, which supposedly, from what I understand, should represent the world. We have military people. We have women. Okay, so this picture or this AI adaptation, people said, oh, he's trying to pass himself off as Jesus. Well, let's read a little bit. So the creator, the specific artist who created the AI image is unknown, but it was circulated by Nick Adams. I'm going to just shut off these for a minute. Nick Adams months prior and later shared on President Trump's Truth Social account. The image shows a divine-like figure meant to be Trump wearing a red and white robe, touching the head of a sick person, surrounded by figures, eagles, and American symbols. Context: the post drew backlash, with some critics describing it as gross blasphemy, while Trump claimed he saw it as himself, as a doctor making people better. The image was posted around April 13, 2026, among a public feud with Pope Leo the 14th, and was later deleted. Okay, so this is the question I have for you is this. Is it so crazy if you are a religious person and if you read the Bible, whether you're Jewish, Muslim, Catholic, Christian, you believe, because this is what we've been taught, that there will be an end of time. And that in that end of time, the believers will find eternal life in heaven, right? The Muslims have it, the Catholics have it. I think every religion has it. So, how do we know that? What's to say we're not in that right now? To the wars that have been fought throughout history have so often been fought for religion, or started, through religious turmoil. So maybe we are headed towards that. Maybe would it be crazy that Trump, outrageous Trump, was the one who is going to bring it all to a head? Now, I want you to think a little bit about what happened with Jesus Christ. And, here's a Jewish man who was creating miracles, but everybody except for the true believers were against him. The majority of people weren't with him. Just the true believers were with him. The synagogue and the rabbis were not with him. Some, but most no. Rome met with him, found him to be inconsequential. They didn't care. They just wanted their taxes, and they didn't want an uproar. But he, we now, all these thousands of years later, cherish him and see him as the Son of God and the Savior. And some don't, some do. But the one thing that has been promised is that we will, in the Jewish religion, Muslim religion, Catholic religion, or Christian religion, is that we will see either him or the Savior, depending on which religion you're in, again. John the Baptist went before Jesus to prepare the world for Jesus. So here's the thing that I'm getting at, and I'm rambling. If you were, back in the day, given the choice to believe that this man who had these followers, who healed people, who were telling you not to believe the Torah and not to believe what you had been taught by your elders, your rabbis, told you, disregard all of that. I'm going to teach you a new way. And God himself told me about it. If you were part of that group, would you be following Jesus, or would you be sticking with your rabbis? Or I don't remember, whether Rome the Romans believed in gods. So would you be, believing your gods, your idols, or your rabbis, or would you believe that Jesus was there to save us? Something for you to ponder. I know me, I'm a rebel, and I don't believe anything that's organized. And if people tell me that this is what I have to believe, I bet your bottom dollar I won't. I'll look for the truth for myself. So that's where I am with that. So Peter, professor says, logistics is the big dilemma. And that's in the Hormuz. Yes. With Biden open borders years, only a fool would think we don't have hundreds of terror cells within our borders. Exactly. I mean, this was a plan. The question is, what was the end game for the plan, right? What's the end game for the plan? Is it money? I don't think so, because when you have a theocracy, when you have a government based in religion, and people who believe that their sacrifice will get them to the promised land, like the Vikings with Valhalla. The reason the Vikings did so well was because they figured if they died, they would have a better place. So they weren't fearful of things. Same with the Celts. They weren't fearful. They what were they called? Oh, wait, hold on a second. The ones that used to run around naked and scream. I can't remember what they called them. I'll think of it in a minute. But, when you believe that you're going to have everything in the afterlife, especially if you die in the furtherance of your religion, you're willing to do it. As predicted, atheists are flocking to protect the Pope. Yeah. I listen, I have a question. I mean, I want to know, did anybody check his head? I mean, I believe what I read in the Bible. Why could it not be true? I agree with that. Catholicism is only a subset of Christianity, and the Pope is only relevant to Catholics. I'm not a fan of any organized religion, but it's a bit annoying that we can criticize any religion except the Jews. The leadership of all religions are corrupt, and including the Jews. Yeah, you can criticize every religion. That's the whole thing. I mean, This is America. You can criticize anybody. But, you could say the same thing as you can't criticize black and brown people. Well, that's only if you feel that way. If you're worried somebody's going to give you grief. So I had a brother-in-law that was brought up Catholic. Richie people could divorce and donate and stay in the church. He told me poor people were thrown out of the church. It was, with the divorce. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's supposedly a good Catholic, but she believes in abortion. So how's that? How does that work? I can't. That's why I can't do the religion thing. We live in a world where we believe that all things follow the fundamental laws of physics. However, the possibility exists that there are other parameters which we cannot explain. Thank you, Professor. I agree with that. Ridiculous claims. If he wore a collar, maybe I'd agree. That's the leftist interpretation. Yet they'd love to see a crucifixion. Oh, excellent, Gary. Excellent. Klein bottle is an example of this. You got to give me more than that. The AI picture was made of Trump 3 months ago around prescription drugs and Trump as a healer. He said so, and I take him at his word. Plus, TrumpRx.gov actually works. Yes, and that's true. It was made a long time ago, but I'm going to show you. Hold on. Trump is the greatest troll ever. Oh, yeah, he is the greatest troll ever. I believe Jesus was here to save us. I do too. But I don't believe he was the only one. That's my belief. I don't put, there he is. No, not Harry Krishna's, and Angela, but it's something else. Berserkers. Thank you, Angela. As always, you come to my rescue. They were called berserkers, and they were nude, and they painted themselves, and they would scream in battle, and they were terrifying. So, Jeff, I believe that Jesus came, was put on earth to save us. I believe also that there are others. It's not just him, right? Because John the Baptist was there before him. So I just believe that there are so many people that God speaks to. And that could be each and every one of us in a different way. As long as we try to do what's right for mankind. That's my belief. Doesn't have to be everybody's, but it's mine. The big question is, why would Biden bring in people whose religious beliefs don't align with our own citizens? Why would he bring them in at all? But that's a good question. Anyone who criticizes the Jews are canceled. Well, same with African Americans and Latinos, right? So it depends on who cancels them. Nothing to be sorry about. And I know that BJ was a little upset over my post about checking the Pope's head, but that's what I learned, and I learned that the person who is going to undermine us would come in the form of people who we knew. Isn't that what happened to Jesus in the desert? So there's a lot out there, and from Nostradamus to there's so many predictions, there's so many prophets, there's so many people out there. I can't believe that God would put all these people on earth and say, we're only going to keep this amount. I just don't. I can't say, but that's me. What's wrong with being nude and painting oneself? Not a thing, Michael, not a thing, but it's terrifying in war. If you were lining up for battle and you had all these guys with their junk out coming at you, no shields, no protection against these big swords, coming at you, showing you that they were not afraid. That's the thing. But I know you were joking. I saw you back and forth with some guy about Trump and the Pope. I commented that it is okay with the Pope that Iran killed thousands of people. And then I said Pope should stay out of politics. Yeah, but also the popes have been involved in politics since Christianity, right? They're the ones that crowned the king. They're the ones that started the wars, the Spanish Inquisition, right? My husband said the same thing. The Pope should stay out of politics. I believe that Mascherino came back and said the popes have always been involved in politics, and he's absolutely right. That's what the Catholic Church has always done. it's not going to stop now. But the question is that, his kind of lying, saying that God does not agree with war, that's an outright lie. That is concerning to me. That it goes against the Bible and the teachings of the church, right? Everything we read. So that's a problem for me. A fourth dimension is represented by a depicted climb bottle where the neck passes through bottle without touching it. Oh, yes, of course. You're much smarter than me. So those aren't religions. Which aren't religions? I'm not sure. I think some middle-aged painted nudes could be frightening. Lol. Going to the beach is sometimes scary. Yeah, there's a lot of scary stuff in this world. There's no substitute for real life experience. In the end, you can take anything with you except the real world experience. That is a very true statement. But so I just wanted to touch on a little bit. So this Trump thing, right? This photograph was reported all over, and you have to really dig deep to find out that it was put out months ago. If you want to ask Google. And then also we have another situation occurring right now, which is the Swalwell scandal. And it just seems to me that Hollywood and California has their hand in the disinformation that's going on. And in my opinion, there's a leader of all of this. And it's Nancy Pelosi, who was the state chairman for the Democrat Party in California for many, many years. And who is, if you're going to have a messiah, you're also going to have some evil people, right? So this is in my book of what's going on right now. You had a Biden who is just vacant, and you have Pelosi, Schumer, all these people who at one point in time seemed sane people, who are now seeming very insane, very weird, and very different than what we remember. But I want to remind us of, and I played this a long time ago, but I want to remind everybody about how Pelosi thinks about things. And I couldn't believe it when she did this several years ago, and I still can't believe it. I want you to listen, it's only 39 seconds. Listen to what she says.
We call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic, and it's self-evident. But I think I'm worth the trouble, quite frankly. I love the fray. I'm not disrespectful of people's views.
The wrap-up smear. So do you think that she used that on Biden? Well, she used that on Trump the first time, right? She used it on Biden. She used it on Swalwell, I'm pretty sure, because she didn't endorse Swalwell. She seems to be the one, and she's the richest one of all. Worth 100, what is it, 200 million or something like that? She's the richest one of all. And her father, if you recall, was a gangster in Maryland. So he controlled Maryland. Let's see. When I have Richard Luthman, Michael Cox, and Peter Romanowski all on the show together, I feel very stupid, because these are very smart men, and I love when they comment. Here's Michael, what Michael says. All the crusades were to point the kings away from questioning the Pope. And that is so. If you know history, you know that's so. I was surprised. I just saw a video stating they arrested a lot of people for voter fraud with the last Trump election. They went on about how the FBI had loads of evidence it was fraud. Yes, that is so. It's true. And the arrests are being made now, which is why they've been trying so hard to discredit Trump. I mean, at the end of the day, the stuff that we all knew, I mean, that it, turned out to be true. And the evidence was there all along, and they tried to make it like we were crazy. They could be undermined, controlled by the Chinese government, but then again, what do I know? I think you're right. I think you're right, Gary. I think you're right. There are so many conspiracy theories that sound wacky and way, way, way out there, that are showing us that that we're right. So it seemed like she was defending herself against someone using the smear on her. What she said, she liked the fray. She liked being in the fray. So that was her commentary. Well, she likes being in the fray. You want to talk about politics. So she's very familiar with the wrap-up smear. Let's see. A smear is a tactic to get the attention of people normally not paying attention. Yeah. So some people are saying that Trump decided to repost that AI image to start the conversation. I'm not going to doubt it. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. My opinion is that the Vatican is evil and the Pope is right up there. Yeah, it's the Catholic Church has been behind some pretty not great things. And remember, that was the religion. It was either Jewish or Catholic, right? You know what? Let me rewind that. Yeah, well, that's it. It was Peter. Yes, I'm sorry. Peter started the church. So it was Jewish or Catholic. And then there was the Muslim, the Moors. So that's what we have. Then, of course, the Buddhists. That's right. So we had the Buddhists. So those are the four. And then a whole bunch of sub-religions came out of that. Well, Protestant didn't happen until Henry VIII. So that happened because Henry had a fight with the Pope because he wanted to divorce Mary and marry Anne Boleyn. And the Pope said no because Mary was Catholic. And and she was attached to him somehow, a niece or something. So the Pope wouldn't allow him to divorce. So he decided to start the Church of England. And that became, or maybe that was Anglo-Saxon. I don't know. That is all I know is there were 1,000 different types of Catholic or Christian. Too many. Then the Mormons came about in the what was it, 1800s, and so many, just too many. And in my opinion, they all were designed for the same purpose. And then we had the Hare Krishnas, then we had too many. I have a hard time watching the news due to the lack of confidence in what is now truthful. Your view on what's going on give me hope that all is not lost. Thank you, Gary. The one thing about here is I will always keep it real. I don't give a shit if you like me. I don't need money. I don't need ratings. I just need to talk. Because if I don't talk, my head will explode. So I love having you here. I love having all of you here. Gary, you always make me laugh. Colleen is, Angela Rick is like my right arm. Every time I'm missing something, she finds the little, Colleen is my accountant lady. She can find any clue anywhere. All of you are so very important to me, and I appreciate you all spending time with me. I just have to talk because I can't watch crazy and not call it out. I just can't. Vatican built the wall after it was invaded. They also formed the army as a guard. Well, yeah, and then what did we have? The Knights Templar, and what was, I can't remember what they were all about. I'll do better in the winter when I can sit at my computer more. I mean, I'm hanging out, in the garden too much, and then racing inside. The Moonies, yeah, I remember the Moonies. Thousands of denominations of Christianity alone, and they can't even agree. How will there ever be world peace? I don't see how there could be world peace. And I don't think that in God's world there is perfect peace. I don't think in the world that God gave us there's perfect peace. Because you have to have evil to know good. You have to have that push against each other. Otherwise, how do you know? How do you know? I agree, Gary. I gave up cable TV about 14 years ago. I don't even trust Fox News anymore. Me either. It's all about ratings and it's all about money. They're the Anglicans, the Martin Luther. Oh, right. That's right. Thanks. Martin Luther, John Calvin, and Peter Huguenot jumped into the fray. Right. Henry VIII started Anglican Church. Yes, that's it. Yeah, right. And they became Anglo-Saxon. Okay. Yeah. Anglo-Saxon. Wasn't that a religion, or is that just what you call extremely white people from England? I can't remember. Knights Templar is part of the Masons. That's right. But weren't they were developed to protect the secrets of the church, right? Wasn't it the Pope or no? I mean, I don't know. It was cheaper to execute Knights Templar than to pay them. Oh, yeah, that's right. They used to kill them. The Templars were answerable to the Pope only, and they created the banking system. Yes, thank you, Michael Cox. Okay, see. That was it. The Pope started the Knights Templar, and they started the banking system. They started the money. They were, I guess, the original Rothsteins. Interesting, right? Or the Roths or the Rothschild or whatever. God is the one who divided us in nations and languages. We keep trying to diversify and mix it all up. That's a good point, Cully. They handled the money. They did indeed. Religious extremes are always dangerous and concerning, aren't they, though? And that's what I've been saying here forever. I would like us to be extreme love, extreme respect, extreme just let's all let's all just do our thing, and let's stop trying to interfere in everybody's lives, and let's stop judging people. Let God judge. Yes, the original Jews. No, the Angles and Saxons were tried. Right. Don't get started on the Rothschild. I know that's a whole other show, and we're already 10 minutes over. I just want to tell you, I love spending time with all of you, and thank you for spending time with me. You keep me sane, and let's keep doing it, because I don't know, something ain't right out there, and I'd like to get my fingers into what it is. And the one thing that I know is that the American government right now, for the most part, is the one not feeding us bullshit, right? I mean, the churches, the religions, they all feed us bullshit. The goal is to just get us not to question and just to behave. But now the goal is to know what's real and what's truthful. And maybe I'm a little bit too much like Eve, but I want knowledge. And I thank you all for joining me. Remember, we're on Spotify too. So if you have Spotify, please download and like over there. Share the show, and let's get more people involved, right? Okay, love you. I will see you tomorrow at 8.